Now, it's a massive India Today impact. Days after India Today exposed how separatists were being funded by Pakistan to foment unrest in the valley, fresh details emerging in the case. Over a dozen firms engaged in cross-LOC trade since October 2008 under National Investigating Agency's scanner as part of its probe against separatists. Dubious transactions of several traders have raised suspicions about their close connections with terror groups like Hizbul Mujahideen and Lashkar-e-Toiba. NIA investigators also found inputs regarding channeling of money to Kashmiri separatist leaders through these suspected traders. India Today has accessed the FIR on cross-border funding. The firms run by these traders are engaged in barter trade with some Pakistan-based individuals or companies and were found to be under-invoicing the import of goods like leather articles, dry fruits, especially dates and California almonds. As per the FIR, the government has received information that a large-scale transfer of funds from Pakistan to India is taking place through the import of California almonds via cross-LOC trade. The NIA has alleged that cross-LOC trade began some businessmen under or over-invoiced their bills. Now, what happens is the difference in payment was later used to promote the terror activities in the valley. So if a truck, say, carrying 9 tons of goods declared only 8 tons of almonds, the money generated by selling the excess 1 ton found its way to the separatists as well. Now, it's a modus operandi which has now been cracked. Here's the latest detail. My colleague Shuja getting us this report.
The cross-LOC trade in Uri and in Poonch was started in 2008, and it was seen as an important confidence-building measures between the two sides. Now, ever since then, the traders have at several occasions asked the government to initiate steps to improve this trade. Steps like finding an alternate to barter system and installing full-body scanners at the trade locations. But the government has failed to do all of this, which could have led to making the entire trade more foolproof and more useful. With cameraman Roof Shujaul Haq in Uri for India Today.
Let's get in. Sudhir Ranjan Sen, editor with India Today, who's joining us at the moment as well. Now, Sudhir, tell us the modus operandi and how is it that it's gone unchecked for so long?
Well, to begin with, this was started, as we have been reporting from the ground. It started in 2008 as one of the major confidence-building measures. Now, one needs to understand that this is a barter trade. In a barter trade, you do not pay money like you would do in a normal trade, as in you buy goods and you pay money. What basically happens is that you send goods or you get in goods and you send back goods of equal nature and equal amount to balance the books. And this is where the problem is in the barter trade. Also, the barter trade is limited to 21 items that has been produced locally, and it was done in 2008 to help the local population. But that said, what is happening now is that goods that are coming from Pakistan are being under-invoiced, as in goods say valued, say at about 100 crores in the open market, would be valued, or the declared value would be only a few lakhs. Now, the excess that is generated by selling these goods in the open market is not accounted for. It's off the books. Now, this is where the problem is. Once it is off the books, then this money is then again finding its way back to people who are, to fund people who are throwing stones, and also to separatists. What has the NIA found? The NIA has gone into the premises of several traders. We can confirm that there are at least 6 traders that the NIA is very carefully looking at. The entire network, so to say, spreads from Srinagar into Jammu, going into Amritsar and coming straight into Delhi. Now, once the goods are sold out here and this excess funds generated, then this is again transferred back or finds its way back into the valley, and then this is distributed. One of the reasons why Government of India has not been able to handle it, initially when the alarm was raised in 2012, then the last UPA government did not, look into it very carefully. It didn't want to hamper the trade, but one of the reasons could be that. But in effect, what happened was this trade was allowed to continue till the new government came in. and the stone pelting incidents that happened last year, the unrest that we saw in Jammu and Kashmir, forced the government in a way to look into what is happening. And what the NIA has told the government, what we understand from our sources in the ministry, is that at least 100 crores have been generated every year for the last 4 to 5 years. That's the quantum that we are talking about, is about 400 to 500 crores in the very minimum. We also spoke to TV Today, also spoke to the main whistleblower. Now, according to their estimates, it's about 800 crores. So this is where it stands. And now what the investigations are looking at is the last mile connectivity, so to say, is whereby the money generated from the trade then finds its way, way back to the separatists. That is a very crucial angle that's being investigated by right now. And we can confirm that several people, even as we speak, are being questioned, being looked at.
All right, but it's interesting, Sudhir. Well, you're saying since 2008, this is the modus operandi being used by Pakistan. The trade route is now being used to also funnel money to the separatists and to the terrorists in the valley. And we've seen that how Pakistan has violated the ceasefire at the line of control. We've seen how Pakistan has used it to smuggle drugs as well across the line of control. And this is the route in which they are actually transacting trade, and how the money is from there is being used for funding terror in the valley. And this money and the modus operandi is quite similar to how you would see a black money being channeled in and out of the country by under and over invoicing the trade goods invoices. But tell me one thing also, Sudhir, you're talking about 500 crore. That's the estimate that we're looking at, the LOC terror trade. How Pak funded separatists as well in the valley. It was the India Today investigation that revealed that they did get money, while they've maintained that they got money through Dubai, through Delhi, through also Nepal. This is one route which has escaped so far the authorities.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't, to begin with, if you go back to 2008, it was a confidence-building measure. Mind you, that is, if you look at the geopolitical situation at that point of time, relationship between India and Pakistan, there were efforts to mend the relationship. And this was a confidence-building measure that was started. But this has been misused. What authorities are saying that this is a classic case of economic crime, and the money, the slush funds generated, the money laundered from the economic crime, finding its way into terrorism. Vis-a-vis the investigation into the Hawala, which India Today earlier carried, that is one route of funding terrorism and the stone pelting that we are seeing, the unrest broadly to say in the Kashmir Valley. This is another very, very critical route that is being used. And mind you, security agencies have flagged to the government that they should stop the border barter trade. In 2016, we know for a fact the Jammu Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti too also suggested this to the government, saying that we need to stop the border barter trade and we need to go into normal trade, whereby you will have the customs, whereby you will have goods coming in, being assessed properly, and then only being let out. Now, the only problem in doing so is once you put customs and immigration checks in, say, in the 2 points, you are in effect accepting the borders. Now, we all know that the borders are disputed. Today, it is a line of control. The other part is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Now, if you were to put a customs on an immigration check, willy-nilly what happens is the international fora are accepting Pakistan's claim over this part of that part of land, which is one of the reasons why the government of India hasn't been able to move.
All right, be with me, Sudhir. In fact, let's go across to Ashraf also, who's joining us at this point of time. So, Ashraf, as Sudhir is pointing out, that you really can't have a custom check post there, because that would mean that India accept the Pak-occupied Kashmir legitimacy of Pakistan there. But then what are the other options now? Should this LOC cross-border barter trade system stop?
That is only the way, Devina, and if they want to close this kind of route for the Hawala funding or any kind of funding for the terror activities in the Jammu and Kashmir, then simply this trade has to be stopped, which neither the J&K government wants nor the government of India wants, because as our guest Sudhi was mentioning that it was an initiative for CBM, confidence building measure between India and Pakistan, particularly between two parts of Jammu and Kashmir, that is Pakistani occupied Kashmir and Jammu and Kashmir. So far it is going on, and also there are legal hurdles, because basically we are investigating and tracking this story since 2010, when first time this was seen that probably the amount of trade which is being done by the Bharata system on one side, from this side of the border only the goods go for few lakhs, and in the return the goods come in the crores, and the dispensation in among the amount between the true trades is the money which is somewhere being misused. But so far the traders from the other side of the LOC said that they are going to distribute free. What is the fun with it, that if they want to sell the item worth 100 rupees for rupees 20, who is bothered for that? So they had that kind of legacy for that. And so far for last 6 years there were so many investigations. NIA investigated it earlier, and also the state police investigated it, but so far they could not curb it.
Okay. All right, Ashraf and Sudhir, thanks for joining us. Continue tracking more on this. 6 traders, as Sudhir is pointing out, are under scanner at the moment. It's a 500 crore cross-border terror trade that's exposed here on India Today. Also now looking at how the separatists meanwhile are playing to the Pak gallery once again. The self-styled representatives of Kashmiris have once again been exposed as stooges of Pakistan as Pak beat England in semi-final of the Champions Trophy. Kashmiri separatist leader Mirwais Omar Farooq tweeted congratulating Pakistan. He also wished that the Pakistan team does well in the final. Mirwais found support from BJP's ally, the PDP as well, and the JDU.
भारत को पाकिस्तान से भय नहीं है, भारत में छुपे गद्दारों से भय है, और वैसे ही गद्दारों की श्रेणी में ये अलगाववादी नेता है। इन ऐसे लोगों का स्थान जो भारत का खाए और पाकिस्तान का गाए, उसका स्थान भारत नहीं होनी चाहिए। देखिए, मैं तो सबके लिए कह रहा हूं, चाहे वो सिनेमा जगत के हों, चाहे वो राजनीति के लोग हों, जो भारत में रहने वाला है, भारत का खाता है, अगर वो पाकिस्तान का गाता है, अलगाववादी का गाता है, पत्थरबाजों का गाता है, आतंकवादियों का गाता है, चाहे मणिशंकर अय्यर हों, चाहे कोई सिनेमा जगत के लोग हों, ऐसे लोगों को देशद्रोहियों की श्रेणी में रखना।
My colleague Ashraf is joining us on the story as well. Now, Ashraf, why is it that the PDP is supporting Mirwais? Because at the end of the day, Mirwais won't tweet. If India wins a match, they don't support India. They don't congratulate India on winning the match. They are on the Indian soil, and still they continue to play the role of the Pak agent. And why is PDP, the BJP's ally, coming to Mirwais' defense?
Davina, first of all, we have to refresh the history in the Kashmir Valley. This is not anything new. When the Pakistan win cricket match has been cheered up here in the Kashmir Valley or celebrated. This is a long history. If we go back in 1985 or 83 or 89, when first match international cricket match was conducted without any militancy in the Kashmir Valley in Kashmir, then there were the slogans and chanting of slogans in favor of Pakistan, despite the match being played between Australia and India. And so far since then it is a kind of politics which is parallelly going on in Kashmir. But since the formation of new NDA government, these things were unchecked and uncovered. Now after the recent discussions in the country about the nationalism, Desh Bhakti and our patriotism, this thing is being now highlighted and comes out. And it is not anything new that PDP is backing the separatist ideology. They have openly said in their manifesto in the formation of government with the BJP that we have to talk with the separatists. They have that soft corner, and that is the compulsion of their politics being here in the Kashmir Valley, whether that is National Conference or People's Democratic Party. That is why the PDP is supporting the cheering of victory of Pakistani cricket team here in Kashmir.
So you also have not only the separatists, but even the Pak agents have brainwashed the youngsters. As you can see in Kupwara, how locals are celebrating the Pakistan win. And that's how they're spreading the Pakistan propaganda. What's more shocking, as Ashraf is pointing out, is the PDP's compulsion in which they are supporting these separatists like Mirwais.